The unrest, but there was high drama there when gunfire ripped through the communities on the nearby TIVOLI Gardens. One man was shot in the abdomen by a stray bullet. He was carried into this white Toyota Corolla motor car by residents who were themselves trying to escape the bullets. Though shell-shocked by the incident, the residents rallied to the assistance of the injured man.
The gunshots, sporadic gunshots, are just blazing in the community. Many of the residents have to be scurrying for anything that they can find to hide from the gunshots.
Up to late Monday afternoon, we were unable to ascertain his condition. Less than 10 minutes later, there was another shooting right next to us. While the helicopter hovered over the tense area, the gunfire intensified. While we ran for cover, a man who was running behind me was shot in the back. The Mexico residents again rallied to his aid, rushing him to the hospital. The residents, however, are complaining that they have nothing to do with the situation in TIVOLI Gardens.
Shoot people up here. Yeah, in our community, so them are in there for a shot. All them fair shot per way.
Meanwhile, we found ourselves trapped for at least 35 minutes. A resident told us the shots were coming from the roofs of high-rise buildings in TIVOLI. They even gave us binoculars to see for ourselves. They were speaking the truth. We were eventually able to leave the area even as the gunfire continued. Delona Fleming, CV News.
Residents of downtown were shaken with fear as the security forces made their way into sections of TIVOLI Gardens and Denham Town today. Kalila Enriquez spoke to some of those residents earlier.
These were the armed forces on the waterfront in downtown Kingston at about 1 p.m. in position and full gear as helicopters buzzed ahead and the Coast Guard patrolled the waters. The sound of gunfire was dangerously close. The media was not allowed to go any closer. Reports were that the armed forces had launched an air attack. Several women saying they were TIVOLI residents called our news center expressing fear.
Right now the soldiers them live up on the Remark Center top, then the Shetola Park School top, then the from the house top them and we cannot come out, then the from Blood Bank top, cut all the fire through the window them over here. We have a cross road a shop copper last night we not eat, a peer shot we can't go cross the road and we are woman, helicopter drive up in the sky and that boom and pick me there.
I'm in the house, under my bed, and I hear bomb drop. I can hear the gunshot. They directly surrounding each the building, each houses in TIVOLI, and directly shooting at them. And they're saying, put on more, put on more. That's what the police are saying.
So can't make any move because we have backup bomb. They are dropping bombs from the helicopter down in the place. What must we do? This is how they deal with people, and they say they're going to deal with it in an orderly manner. And they are dropping bomb in the place. Because of one man, this is not right.
The helicopter is throwing grenade on the house. On the houses in TIVOLI Gardens.
So on the houses that they're throwing these bombs, are there people in these houses?
Yes, people and kids. Children is in the house.
From Arnett Gardens, we could see thick black smoke emerging from Coronation Market. It is not yet clear how it came ablaze. Residents report hearing heavy explosions from as early as 10 a.m. On Spanish Town Road, this woman was shot just a few feet away from our news team as we prepared for a live broadcast. A woman was just shot right next to where I'm standing. This is the scene here on Spanish Town Road and between Maxfield Avenue and Waltham Park. The shot came literally out of nowhere just moments ago. There were scores of people littering the streets here. There you go again, another barrage of heavy gunfire. The area coming under attack. Dozens of people had been on the road gazing at the smoke. The sudden sound of gunshots made them scatter. Meanwhile, criminals in other areas appear to have taken advantage of the terror in TIVOLI to wage their own attack. On Whitfield Avenue, 2 men were shot dead, this house torched, bodies burned inside. A little girl was traumatized. Gunmen had kicked in her door, gun-butted her mother and shot her stepfather in the head as she watched. She begged our news team to take her somewhere safe and asked whether she would be able to go to school tomorrow. The terror of the past several hours has left everyone shaken, especially the children. Kalila Enriquez, CVM News.
And we go live now to our reporter Andrew Cannon, who is out on the streets. He has a good vantage point of many of those trouble spots. Andrew, what's the latest?
Well, the lights are still shining in Kingston City. However, it was a dark day in many respects. And guess what? It is not over yet, because we're still hearing loud explosions in sections of Western Kingston. And we're not only hearing the explosions, we're also, earlier we saw lots of smoke emanating from the area. And of course, earlier as well, there was a helicopter hovering above. So it was a day of lots of shooting, sporadic gunfire. And of course, our news team did witness some gruesome events, including that incident in sections of Rima and Onyx Gardens where 2 persons were shot. Now, on the road right now, there are very few persons on the road, very few vehicles, because as persons would have known by now, the state of emergency is still in effect. However, many persons are asking what will happen next, because tomorrow it should be a normal day of activity, because today is Labor Day and of course we had Sunday. But what is going to happen tomorrow? Will there be some semblance of normality, especially persons going back to work and school? The nation is hoping to hear something tonight from either the Prime Minister or somebody out of the cabinet, because even though the police are declaring that some semblance of normality has been returned to the city, many persons are still concerned, especially as we still continue to hear gunshots. Now, we must tell you that we did have a conversation a short while ago with the Minister of Education, Andrew Holness, and we are understanding that a special meeting of the cabinet was held, and we should be having something for you coming out of that meeting, because concerns have been expressed whether or not, schools will continue as normal. Because as we do know, many schools in the Western Kingston area, exams had to be taken at other places, be it CXC exams or CAPE exams. So shortly, we should be joined by the Minister of Education, Andrew Holness, who should give us an update on the situation re the education of the nation's children. But apart from that, we intend to quiz him as well on a number of other developments that has happened since the TIVOLI Gardens situation. And of course, we are getting word that there was some kind of special meeting involving some special security situation for the city, involving some members of some high command of the Security Council. So as we come live to you from somewhere in Kingston, the situation is still tense. We're still hearing sporadic gunfire in sections of Western Kingston. We did see smoke earlier, and of course we're still seeing some smoke. So it's still a tense Kingston City after a day of sporadic outbreak of violence. Back to you, Burke.
Thanks, Andrew, and we hope to join Andrew a bit later, especially to find out the outcome of that special cabinet meeting, which we were just told was held earlier today.